46.36. So once we finish this chapter, we can have an examination. Fourth, fifth, and sixth verse ka chapter ka examination. What are the dates which I have given to you for the examination? Any dates I have-
Mataji, not
Not
given.
yet given. Not yet given, Mataji.
How many days you require for preparation? How many weeks? 2 weeks is enough?
Yes, 2 weeks,
Okay,
Mataji.
Mataji. Yes, Mataji.
2 weeks.
Thank you.
That means we can keep the exam 9th and 10th December. You put in the group 9th and 10th December, we can keep exam.
Okay,
So you have
Mataji.
3 weeks for studying, not just 2 weeks. You have good time, like 20 days to study.
Yes, yes, Mataji.
9th, 10th December. No, okay, Mataji.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
36th verse, 6th chapter, 2nd canto. नतोऽस्म्यहं तच्चरणं समीयुषां भवच्छिदं स्वस्तेनं सुमङ्गलं यो यात्म मायाविभवं स्म पर्यगात् यथा नभः स्वान्तम तथा परे कुतः नतोऽस्म्यहं तच्चरणं समीयुषां भवच्छिदं स्वस्त्येनं सुमङ्गलं यो यात्ममाया विभवं स्म पर्यगात् यथा नभः स्वान्तम् अथा परे कुतः Natah is let me pay obeisances. So Purush Sukta is recited by Brahmaji to Narada. Purush Sukta contains the glorification of the Parama Purusha Narayana. So Shot of Narayana is also Krishna. So actually it refers to Lord Krishna. Who is Narayana himself? There is no difference between Krishna and Narayana. Let me pay obeisances to him. Aham. Charanam tat charanam. Let me pay obeisances to his lotus feet. Samiyusham bhavachidam. Whoever has surrendered to him, bhavachidam, chidam means he can immediately stop the repetition of birth and death. Swasti ayanam. Swasti vachan, swasti ayanam. What is the swasti ayanam? Giving happiness. Sumangalam. He gives auspiciousness. Yaha, to whom? To the ones who are surrendered. Atma Maya, Vibhavam, Sma. So he does this through his personal energies, by his potency. Paryagad Yathaha. One cannot even estimate the limit of the sky. In the same way, Swantam, Ataha, Apare Kutaha. How one can understand? Even he cannot understand. Leave aside others. Even he cannot understand his own limit. Then how others can understand? So Brahmaji is saying, I am trying to glorify him. But the whole thing is, he himself cannot know his own glories, his own limit. Krishna Anantaha, Krishna's Leela Anantaha, Krishna's Guna Anantaha. So he himself is not able to understand his own limit. What about others? Here others refers to himself and others. Though we are all trying to glorify Krishna. But then there is no end. There is no end, there is no limit. So here, Parama Purusha has been glorified. Anadir Adir Govindaha Sarva Karana Karana. Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha. Anadir Adir Govindaha. Karana Karana. He is the Adi, Anadir Adir. He is the Adi for all the Adis also. So in this way, see the humility of Brahmaji. Brahmaji appears from the Nabhi of Krishna. In fact, Brahmaji has been shown all the opulences also. But still Brahmaji says there is not enough. There are certain things even I don't know. There are many things, not only certain things. There are many things which I am not aware. So in this way, sometimes we think that we know many things. We should learn the humility from the great personalities like Brahmaji. Brahmaji is our Adi Guru or our Sampradaya. We are from Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. So what we can learn from Brahmaji is the most humblest way of presentation. Okay, Aruna, read. Today only both of you are there, Aruna and both of you share the verses.
Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam Mataji. Dandavat Pranam devotees. Text 36. Natosmyaham taccharanam samiyusham pavachidam swastyayanam sumangalam yo hyatma maya vibhavam sva paryagat yatha namaswantamatha pare kutaha. Translation. Therefore it is best for me to surrender unto his feet, which alone can deliver one from the miseries of repeated birth and death. Such surrender is all auspicious and allows one to perceive all happiness. Even the sky cannot estimate the limits of its own expansion. So what can others do when the Lord himself is unable to estimate his own limits? Lord Brahma, the greatest of all learned living beings, the greatest sacrificer, the greatest observer of the austere life, and the greatest self-realized mystic, advises us as the supreme spiritual master of all living beings that one should simply surrender unto the lotus feet of the Lord in order to achieve all success, even up to the limit of being liberated from the miseries of material life and being endowed with all auspicious spiritual existence. Lord Brahma is known as the Pitamaha or the father's father. A young man consults his experienced father about discharging his duties. So the father is naturally a good advisor. But Lord Brahma is the father of all fathers. He is the father of Manu, who is the father of mankind all over the universal planet. He is the father of Manu, who is the father of mankind all over the universal planets. Therefore, the men of this insignificant planet should kindly accept the instruction of Brahmaji and would do well to surrender unto the lotus feet of the Lord rather than try to estimate the length and breadth of the Lord's potencies. His potencies are immeasurable as confirmed in the Vedas. Parashya Shaktir Vivida
Vividhaiva Shruyate.
Yaiva Struyate Swabhaviki Jnana Bala Kriyacha. Sweta Swatara Upanishad 6.8 is the greatest of all and all others, even the greatest of all living beings, namely Brahmaji, admits that the best thing for us is to surrender unto him. Therefore, only those persons with the poor fund of knowledge claim that they themselves are lords of all that they survey. And what can they survey? They cannot survey even the length and breadth of the small sky in one small universe. The so-called material scientists say that he would need to live 40,000 years to reach the highest planet of the universe being carried by a Sputnik. This is also utopian because no one can be expected to live 40,000 years. Besides, when the space pilot returned from his travel, none of his friends would be present to receive him back as the greatest astronaut, as he has become fashionable for modern bewildered scientific men. One scientific man who had no belief in God was very much enthusiastic in making plans for his material existence and therefore opened a hospital to save the living. But after opening the hospital, he himself died within 6 months. So, one should not spoil his human life, which is obtained after many changes of bodies in 84 lakh species of life, simply for the concocted material happiness of life through increasing artificial needs in the name of advancement of economic development and scientific knowledge. Rather, one should simply surrender unto the feet of the Lord to make a solution to all miseries of life. This is the instruction of Lord Krishna directly in the Bhagavad Gita, and that is the instruction of Srimad Bhagavatam by Brahmaji, the Supreme Father of all living beings. Anyone denying this surrendering process, as recommended both in the Bhagavad Gita and in the Srimad Bhagavatam, and for that matter, in all authorized scriptures, will be forced to surrender unto the laws of material nature. The living entity, by his constitutional position, is not independent. He must surrender either unto the Lord or unto the material nature. Material nature is also not independent of the Lord, since the Lord himself has claimed material nature as Mama Maya or my energy, Bhagavad Gita 7.14, and as Me Bhinna Prakritir Ashtada or my separated energy in 8 divisions, Bhagavad Gita 7.4. Therefore, material nature is also controlled by the Lord, as he has claimed in the Bhagavad Gita. Mayadhyakshena Prakritir Shruyate Sacharacharam. Under my direction only is material nature working, and thus are all things moving. And the living entities, being superior energy to matter, have choice and discrimination either to surrender unto the Lord or to surrender unto material nature. By surrendering unto the Lord, one is happy and liberated, but by surrendering unto material nature, the living entity suffers. So the end of all suffering means surrendering unto the Lord, because the surrendering process itself is Bhavachiddam, liberation from all material miseries. Swasti Ayanam, perception of all happiness, and Sumangalam, the source of everything auspicious. Therefore, liberty, happiness, and all good fortune can be attained only by surrendering unto the Lord, because He is full liberty, full happiness, and full auspiciousness. Such liberation and happiness are also unlimited, and they have compared to the sky, although such liberation and happiness are infinitely greater than the sky. In our present position, we can simply understand the magnitude of greatness when it is compared to the sky. We fail to measure the sky, but the happiness and liberty obtained in association with the Lord are far greater than the sky. The spiritual happiness is so great that it cannot be measured even by the Lord himself, not to speak of others. It is said in the scriptures, Brahma Saukyam Tva Anantam, spiritual happiness is unlimited. Here it is said that even the Lord cannot measure such happiness. This does not mean that the Lord cannot measure it and is therefore imperfect in that sense. The actual position is that the Lord can measure it, but the happiness in the Lord is so also identical with the Lord on account of absolute knowledge. So the happiness derived from the Lord may be measured by the Lord, but the happiness increases again and the Lord measures it again. And then again the happiness increases more and more. And the Lord measures it more and more. And as such, there is eternally a competition between increment and measurement, so much so that the competition is never stopped, but goes on ultimately ad infinitum. Spiritual happiness is Anandambudhi Vardhanam, or the ocean of happiness which increases. The material ocean is stagnant, but the spiritual ocean is dynamic. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Leela, 4th chapter, Kaviraja Goswami has very nicely described this dynamic increment of ocean of spiritual happiness in the transcendental person of Srimati Radharani, the pleasure potency of Lord Krishna. Hare Krishna.
There's a big purport Prabhupada has given, just see. So remembering Radharani, the spiritual happiness of transcendental person of Srimati Radharani, the present potency of Lord. So this can be easily attained if a person just serves and chants Hare Krishna Mahamantra, because we are begging to Srimati Radharani for giving that spiritual happiness. Spiritual happiness, Srila Prabhupada writes, Ananda Buddhi Vardhanam. At every step, it just increases. Now 37th verse. Naham na yuyam yadrutam gatim vidur navamadeva kimuta paresura tanmayaya mohita buddhayastvidam vinirmitam chatmasam vichakshame. Naham na yuyam yadrutam gatim vidur navamadeva kimuta paresura tanmayaya mohita buddhayastvidam vinirmitam chatmasam vichakshmahe. Na aham yayam. Neither me nor all of you sons, that means all sons of Brahma, yadrutam gatim vidu. We can never understand his movements, and also Vamade, then we cannot even understand the limits of our spiritual happiness, the limits of spiritual happiness. Then when we cannot understand, where is the question of Vamadevaha? Even Lord Shiva cannot understand. Other demigods cannot understand. Because everybody is bewildered by Mayaha, Mohitaha Mayaha. So the intelligence is bewildered by the illusory energy of Krishna. Then Vinirmitam, whatever is created, Vichakshmahe, we can only observe by our personal ability, Atmasamam. We can see only by our limits, whatever limited intelligence we have. With that intelligence only, we are able to understand the glory of Lord. But that doesn't mean that that is the end. That is the only thing. No. Like we can describe to the extent we have realized. But Lord is limitless. So that is how here neither me nor Brahma nor Lord Shiva, neither me, Lord Shiva can understand the limit of spiritual happiness, nor all of you. There is Narada and other sons. Then the demigods also cannot understand, because everybody is bewildered by the illusory energy of Krishna. That is why in the first verse itself in the Bhagavatam, Tene Brahmurdayadi Kavaye Muhyanti Yat Surya. Muhyanti Yat Surya. Even the suras like Brahmaji, Lord Shiva, other demigods, they are all bewildered by Krishna's potency. So that is why here it is given Mohitam Nabijanati Mamebaha Paramabhyayam. Krishna says, because of the three modes of material nature, Krishna cannot be understood in the full way, in the full concept. It is not very easy to understand. And Krishna's Vibhuti, whatever we are seeing, material energy is only Ekapada Vibhuti. Three-pada Vibhuti is the spiritual world. This Ekapada Vibhuti, we can only estimate to the extent we have that capacity. Ekapada Vibhuti also we cannot see. To the extent we can see with our material senses. Like sky, somebody is seeing the sky. But when he goes up and up and up, again there is no limit. When we go to we think, oh, aeroplane is flying in the sky. When we sit in the plane, we see, oh, there is no limit. That means every creature, every living being, whoever has got the different types of body, they can estimate to their capacity, only to their capacity. So that is why the humblest way of presentation by Brahmaji. Brahmaji himself says that I cannot understand Lord. Here we read something here and there and we think we have great preachers. That is a problem. That is why we should follow in the footsteps of Brahmaji. It's not that I have memorized everything. I know all the shlokas. I know all 80,000 shlokas. I have read full purport of Srila Prabhupada. Now I know Lord. No, there is no limit. Even Prabhupada writes. How Prabhupada humbly presents. No acharyas say that we know everything. Nobody can say, because even Brahmaji is not saying. Lord Shiva doesn't say. So the humblest way of presentation is only by the mercy of our spiritual master. Our mouth is opening. And the spiritual master takes us as an instrument to speak or to present. And the spiritual master again is dependent on his spiritual master. In this way, we are all dependent on our parampara, which starts from Brahmaji. And there Brahmaji also says, even I don't know anything. That means the whole parampara speaks that I don't know anything. Somehow we are trying to know according to our capacity. Because illusory energy of Krishna, Atma Maya, covers not only the bewildered souls, covers also Yogamaya potency, covers the eyes of even the realized souls. Because Krishna, to whoever he wants, he will really reveal. But again, not to the fullest, because he himself doesn't know his limit. So how Krishna can say that I have revealed to the fullest? The previous verse it has been given, even Krishna doesn't know his limit. Balram is trying to measure the limit of Lord. Even Balram is also not able to understand. That means in all, it's only Yogamaya who understands Lord. Simple. Who understands? Somebody is bewildering, na? Somebody is bewildering, that means what? That person knows and he is trying to hide. So it is Srimati Radharani who knows everything. No other person can know anything. It is Srimati Radharani who is the source of the Yogamaya potency, Mahamaya potency, energy. The source of energy is Srimati Radharani. She knows everything. So indirectly, it is actually glorification of Srimati Radharani. Whole Bhagavatam is glorification of Srimati Radharani. This Kartik month. Kartik month, naturally it is Radharani's month. And only Radharani can know the limit of Lord. Like water is filled in the bottle. The water knows how much should be filled. The bottle's capacity is known by water. Isn't it? That is why water only comes to the top. Now, who knows? Bottle knows or water knows? It is water who knows the capacity of the bottle. And then the bottle is filled. In the same way, the energy knows the energetic. Even the energetic doesn't know the energy. Energetic is also bewildered by his energy. The energy, like energy of a person is, the energy knows the person and accordingly acts. The person doesn't know the energy. It's very complicated thing to understand also. Isn't it? Like a child doesn't know how much energy he has, but the energy knows how much I should utilize to make the child act. So that is how it is given here. We don't know anything. We are not able to ascertain his limits. Okay. Vrindavan Lila Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण माताजी दंडक नाहं न यूयं यत्रितं गतिं विद् न वामनदेव किम् उत्तापरे सुराः तन्मायया मोहितबुद्धयस्त्व इदं विनर्मितं चात्म समं विचक्ष्महे. Since neither Lord Shiva nor you nor I could ascertain the limits of spiritual happiness, how can other demigods know it? And because all of us are bewildered by the illusory external energy of the Supreme Lord, we can see only this manifested cosmos according to our individual ability. But we have many times mentioned the names of 12 selected authorities, Dwadasha Mahajana, of which Brahma, Narada, and Lord Shiva head the list as the first, second, and third in order of merit of those who know something of the Supreme Lord. Other demigods, semi demigods, Gandharvas, Charanas, Vidyadharas, human beings, or asuras cannot possibly know fully about the potencies of the absolute Lord Sri Krishna. The demigods, semi-gods, Gandharvas, etc. are all highly intelligent persons in the upper planets. The human beings are inhabitants of the intermediate planets, and the asuras are inhabitants of the lower planets. All of them have their respective conceptions and estimations of the absolute truth, as does the scientist or the empiric philosopher in human beings of material nature, and consequently they are bewildered by the wonderful display of the three modes of material nature. Such bewilderment is mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita 7.13. Tribhir gunamair bhavair ebhi sarvamidam jagat. Every entity, beginning from Brahma down to the ant, is individually bewildered by the three modes of material nature, namely goodness, passion, and ignorance.
Voice is not clear. You bol. Somebody else read. Somebody else read.
Mataji, may I read?
Yeah, read.
Everyone thinks in terms of individual capacity, that this universe which is manifested before us is all in all. And so the scientist in the human society of 20th century calculates the beginning and end of the universe in his own way. But what can the scientist know? Even Brahma himself was only the Brahma forced by the Lord. But later on, by the grace of the Lord, he came to know that there are innumerable more powerful Brahmas as well in the far bigger universes beyond this universe. And all of these universes combined together from Ekapar Vibhuti, or 1/4 of manifestation of the Lord's. The other 3/4 of his energy are displayed in the spiritual world. And so, what can the tiny scientist with a tiny brain knows of the absolute personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna? The Lord says, therefore, Mohitam Nabhijanati Mam Ebhya Param Avyayam. Bewildered by such modes of material nature, they can that beyond this manifestation is a supreme person who is the absolute controller of everything. Brahma, Narada, and Lord Shiva know about the Lord to a considerable extent, and therefore one should follow the instruction of these great personalities instead of being satisfied with a tiny brain and its playful discoveries, such as spacecraft and similar product of science, as the mother is the only authority to identify the father of a child. So the mother Veda presented by recognized authorities such as Brahma, Narada, and Shiva is the only authority to inform us about the absolute truth. Hare Krishna Mataji, Dhanavad Pranam.
So very difficult to know Lord, because Lord himself doesn't know about him. Lord himself is and not understanding his limit, because Lord is limitless. Next, 38th one. Yasyavatara karmani gayanti asmadhadayah nayam vidanti tatvena tasmai bhagavate namah. Yasya avatara karmani gayanti hasmadadayah nayam vidanti tatvena tasmai bhagavate namah. So again, namaha. Let me pay obeisances to Bhagavate Shri Krishna. Tasmahi, unto him. Now for when glorification happens, at that time, avatara karmani, all the activities of his incarnations are chanted, gayanti. Asmadadaya, people like us, nayam vidanti, cannot know him 100%. Tatvena, cent percent as he is. So we can glorify. How we can glorify? By the activities, whatever he has done when he appears. Avatara. Avatara means utarna. When he appears, he performs activities. Through that activities, we can glorify him. But again, tattvena na vidanti. Not difficult, not easy to understand tattva. Here, Bhagavatam verse has been given. Tat shaddadana muniyo jnana vairagya yukteha pashyanti atma ichatmanam bhakti shutta guruhitaya. One cannot know the Supreme Lord by any method, but he can be seen and felt partially, again just see, partially by devotional service, hearing, chanting, etc. And in Bhagavatam clearly it has been said, Nayam Atma Pravachena Labhyas, Na Medhayana Bahuna Shutena, Yameva Isha Vrudatena Labhyas, Tasya Isha Atma Vrudate Tanuswam. Not that I have spoken so much. I have done 20 years of pravachan, I should know him. No. Not that by my intelligence I can know him. Not that I have heard so many times for past 30 years, I'm just hearing. Krishna clearly says, not by all this process you can know me. Yes, you can know what is surrenderance. But to know him, yameva isha vadate nalabhyas. Krishna desires, Krishna will reveal. Again, not to the fullest. It's not easy to understand Krishna to the fullest. Raksha Mataji, read.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Shloka 38. Yasyavatara karmani gayanti hasmadadayah nayam vidanti tatvena tasme bhagavate namaha. Translation: Let us offer our respectful obeisances unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whose incarnation and activities are chanted by us for glorification, though he can hardly be fully known as he is. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai ho. It is said that the transcendental name, form, quality, pastime, paraphernalia, personalities, etc., cannot possible by perceived by the gross materialistic senses. But when the senses are purified by the process of hearing, chanting, remembering, and worshipping the lotus feet of the holy deities, etc., the Lord reveals himself proportionately to the advancement of the quality of devotional service. Ye yathama prapadyante. One should not expect the Lord to be an order supplying agent who must be present before us as soon as we desire to see him. We must be ready to undergo the prescribed devotional duties, following the path shown by the procedures in the disciplic succession from Brahma, Narada, and similar authorities. As the senses are progressively purified by bona fide devotional service, the Lord reveals his identity according to the spiritual advancement of the devotee. But one who is not in the line of devotional service can hardly perceive him. Simply by calculations and philosophical speculation, such a hard worker can present a jugglery of words before an audience, but can never know the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his personal feature. The Lord has clearly stated in the Bhagavad Gita that one can know him only by devotional service. No one can know the Lord by an purified, puffed up material process of challenge, but the humble devotee can please the Lord by his earnest devotional activities. Thus, the Lord reveals himself proportionately before the devotee. Lord Brahma therefore offers his respectful obeisances as a bona fide spiritual master and advises us to follow the process of Shravana and Kirtan. Simply by this process, or simply by hearing and chanting the glories of the activities of Lord incarnations, one can certainly see within himself the identity of the Lord. We have already discussed this subject in volume 1 Srimad Bhagavatam in connection with this verse. तच्छ्रद्धाना मुनयो ज्ञान वैराग्य युक्तया पश्यन्ति आत्मनि आत्मानं भक्त्या श्रुत गृहीतया. Bhagavatam 1.2.12. The conclusion is that one cannot know the Supreme Personality of Godhead fully by a method, but he can be seen and felt partially by the devotional service process of hearing, chanting, etc. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Okay. Next. Bhakti Shuta Gruhitaya. That means not by any process, only by bhakti we can know him at least partially. 39th verse. Saishatyah Purusha Kalpe Kalpe Sujatyachah Atmatmanatmanatmanam Sa Samshayati Samshayachati Paticha Sa Eshatyah Purusha Kalpe Kalpe Sujatyachah Atma Atmatmanan Atmatmanyatmanatmanam sasamyashati pati cha. Saha, he, the original personality of Godhead. Purushaha, So he expands as Mahavishnu, a plenary portion of Govinda, kalpe kalpe. So in every millennium, Sujati for creation, he is Ajaha. Atma, self. Atmani, upon the self. Atmanaha, by his own self. Atmanam, own self. Saha, he. Samyachati, absorbs. Pati, maintains. Cha, also. So he creates but is unborn. How the creation happens? It happens by him, takes place in him, Atmaha. And then Atmani, upon his self, the material substance and the manifestations are all himself. Then he maintains them for some time, absorbs them into himself. Now see here, Samyachati absorbs, Pati maintains. Then creation, Srijati has been given. And in this way, 3 times Atmanaha is given and 1 time Atma refers to him. Upon his self, creation happens. By his own self, maintenance happens. And Atmanam, in his own self, the absorption also happens. And who does? He does. Atma does. Atma means that unborn Atma. That unborn Lord does. That is why 3 times it is there. Atmani, unto him, upon him all the creation. That means all the creation rests on him. And then by his own self, he is maintaining everyone. Atmana. And Atmanam, in his own self, everything is again annihilated. So, Atmaha, Atma. Ajaha Atma. That unborn Atma, what it does? Atmani, creation. Atmanam, maintenance. Atmanam, Atmanaha, Atmanam. So, little technical things. But anyhow, Lord is God, G-O-D, generator, operator, destroyer. And he expands as Mahavishnu, the first incarnation. And through Mahavishnu, Karanadakshayi Vishnu, everything happens. But who is the source? Adyaha. That is, Krishna is the source. So this verse can be quoted to explain the 3 Vishnus. The 3 Vishnus and Mahavishnu, how Krishna is Adyaha Purushaha. Saesha Adyaha Purushaha Kalpe Kalpe Sujatyajaha. He is unborn, but everything he does. Okay. A big purport. Aruna Mataji read, and Vrindavan Lila Mataji can share from the 2nd paragraph, the original personality of God. Read the verse.
Hare Krishna. Sayesha Adya Purusha Kalpe Kalpe Srujatyajah Atmatmanyatmanatmana Manam Samyachati Patipati Cha. Translation: the Supreme Original Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna, expanding his plenary portion as Mahavishnu, the first incarnation, creates this manifested cosmos, but he is unborn. The creation, however, takes place in him, and the material, substance, and manifestations are all himself. He maintains them for some time and absorbs them into himself again. Purport: Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. The creation is non-different from the Lord, and still he is not in the creation. This is explained in the Bhagavad Gita 9.4 as follows. Maya tatam idam sarvam jagadavyakta murtina matstani sarva bhutani nachaham tesha vastitaha. The impersonal conception of the absolute truth is also a form of the Lord called Avyakta Murti. Murti means form. But because his impersonal feature is inexplicable to our limited senses, he is the Avyakta Murti form, and in that inexplicable from the Lord, the whole creation is resting. Or in other words, the whole creation is the Lord himself. And the creation is also non-different from him, but simultaneously, he, as the original personality of Godhead Sri Krishna is aloof from the created manifestation. The impersonalists give stress to the impersonal form or feature of the Lord and does not believe in the original personality of the Lord, but the Vaishnavas accept the original form of the Lord, of whom the impersonal form is merely one of the features. The impersonal and personal conceptions of the Lord are existing simultaneously, and this fact is clearly described in both in the Bhagavad Gita and in the Srimad Bhagavatam, and also in the other Vedic scriptures. Inconceivable to human intelligence, the idea must simply be accepted on the authority of the scriptures, and it can only be practically realized by the progress of devotional service unto the Lord and never by mental speculation or inductive logic. The impersonalists depend more or less on the inductive logic, and therefore they always remain in the darkness about the original personality of Godhead Sri Krishna. Their conception of Krishna is not clear. Although everything is clearly mentioned in all the Vedic scriptures, the poor fund of knowledge cannot comprehend the existence of an original personal form of the Lord when he is expanded in everything. This imperfectness is due to more or less to the medical conception that a substance distributed widely in parts can no longer exist in the original form. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. The original personality of Godhead, Adyaha, Govinda, expands himself as a Mahavishnu incarnation and rests in the causal ocean, which he himself creates. The Brahma Samhita 5.47 confirms this as follows. यः कारणार्णवे जले भजति स्म योगा निद्राम् अनंत जगदण्ड सरोमकूपः आधारशक्तिमवलम्ब्य परां स्वमूर्तिं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि. Lord Brahmaji says in his Brahma Samhita, I worship the primeval Lord Govinda, who lies down in the causal ocean in his plenary portion as Mahavishnu, with all the universes generating from the pores of hair on his transcendental body, and who accepts the mystic slumber of eternity. So, this Mahavishnu is the first incarnation in the creation, and from him all the universes are generated, and all material manifestations are produced one after another. The causal ocean is created by the Lord as the Mahatattva, as a cloud in the spiritual sky, and is only a part of his different manifestations. The spiritual sky is an expansion of his personal rays, and he is the Mahatattva cloud also. He lies down and generates the universes by his breathing, and again by entering into each universe as Garbhodakshai Vishnu. He creates Brahma, Shiva, and many other demigods for maintenance of the universe and again absorbs the whole thing into his person as confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita 9.7. Sarva bhutani konteya prakritim yanti mamikam kalpakshaye punastani kalpadau visrajami aham. O son of Kunti, when the kalpa or the duration of the life of Brahma is ended, then all the created manifestations enter into my prakriti or energy. And again, when I desire, the same creation takes place by my personal energy. The conclusion is that these are all but displays of the Lord's inconceivable personal energies, of which no one can have any full information. This point we have already discussed. Hare Krishna Mataji.
To stop here. We just have now 7 verses which we can complete next week. So we have nice time to study 4, 5, and 6 chapter. 9th and 10th we can have the exam. So any questions based on this?
हरे कृष्ण माता जी, दंडवत प्रणाम. माता जी, आई हैव स्मॉल डाउट. साइंटिस्ट जो है वो अभी चंद्र पे जाते हैं, यहाँ पे मतलब, तो वो सब क्या जानने के लिए जाते होंगे माता जी?
मैटर. वो थोड़ी स्पिरिचुअल जानने के लिए. स्पिरिचुअल जानेंगे तो उनको मालूम होगा कि चंद्र में जा ही नहीं सकते. They cannot go to moon. What they are thinking that moon is That is not the original moon. So they are also bewildered. Even to understand matter bewilders what to speak about understanding Lord. And matter cannot be understood. Like we cannot understand our own body. Earth, water, fire, air, ether, we are able to see. A body combination, no? The nearest thing is our own body, what to speak about moon and all. Nearest thing is our own body, but when we look at mirror, we are only seeing the form taken by these 24 elements. We are not able to understand how the influence of the three modes acts upon us. How our activities are controlled by the three modes of material nature, which is controlled by Krishna. So what to speak of understanding other things? We are not able to understand what happens when the food goes inside. How all the metabolism happens, how everything is happening. There is a stomach, there is a small intestine, there is a large intestine. How all these things are happening, how evacuation happens. We are not able to see our own back. How we are able to stand, how we are able to sit, how the ribs fold. How Krishna has created, leave aside the universal creation. First understand the creation of our body. How we are able to bend, how nicely Krishna has given the ribs, and how the bending process happens, how the digestion happens. Just have to contemplate. How the teeth chew, how the saliva is created. You see that saliva is created. Why we take little salt in the tongue? Why achar is given? So that the saliva is generated. When the saliva is generated, there is digestion. So who has taught this? Then scientists do the research, trying to search how it is happening. And the food is going. There is another one pipe, air pipe. Why it is not going there? Why it goes barabar? So how Krishna has planned everything. There are two holes. In these two holes, how it is that we put water, it doesn't go like this. What thing covers? So we should actually go on analyzing our own body. Then we can understand, oh, this thing itself is so difficult to understand. What to understand? Other creations.
So, Mataji, in that sense, they are wasting their so much time and energy and resources also.
Yeah. Everything is wasted. But one thing we can take advantage. What we can do is we can take advantage, send some satellites, and in this way take some photographs and all those things. And because of that, the communication, so they are taking advantage of the things. There's nothing, no problem in it. Take advantage, sending messages, online classes, Zoom classes, how it started, because of all this only. There's a satellite, sending satellites. So take advantage of it. Advantage of the material knowledge to understand spirituality.
Yes, Mataji. Thank you so much.
Yes, Mataji.
I have a question. It's not directly connected to the shloka as such, but when you were responding to Daksha Mataji, I was just reminded. This time when I was traveling, I met a lady from some other sampradaya, and she was just explaining me the things that in our body we have different seats in the heart for different tattvas, like for Agni, water, ether, and all that. So how is it, Mataji? Like, I was not able to comprehend it properly. I was just trying to explore the
I have
common
not
grounds
seen
between us.
what I have not seen, what I will tell you. I have not seen, neither heard this. Because Prabhupada has written, then at least we'll try to, even if we try to read also, we cannot understand what is that seed. She must have read somewhere. But again, to understand these things are very difficult. How the body, heart, can you remove the heart and then see where is the seed of ego is there, false ego is there, what ether is there? You cannot see that. 24
like
elements,
yes.
not it's easy to understand.
Like they believe in the system of meditation and dhyan. So she was
They
telling
can take something,
focus on
and do
our
dhyan.
heart and
But that doesn't mean that is right. You can take something and do
yeah.
dhyan. You can take earth and do dhyan. oh, my body is made up of earth. Instead of doing dhyanam on Krishna, you are doing dhyanam on the 24 elements, which we are not able to really comprehend also. At least we are able to see the lotus feet of Krishna in the Archa Vigraha. We are able to see the Harinam Sankirtan. We can do dhyanam on that. Even the lotus feet of Krishna, Krishna reveals, only we can understand. So better is dhyana on the Harinam.
That's
the best.
ideal. No, I was thinking like, is it mentioned anywhere? And like, I may not.
Till now we have
be
not
aware.
come across. Prabhupada will not speak all this. Prabhupada will say chant and be happy.
Like when we were discussing, I just told her what I know is when you're talking about focusing on heart is Paramatma stays there. So Dhruv Maharaj's thing is there where he meditates on the Paramatma form of the Lord. So I know only of that. Other than that, I do not know about the
Again,
scenes.
Paramatma is not situated in the heart, the spiritual region of the heart.
Yes.
Not the
Very
gross.
true. Very true. Otherwise, with the surgery, he'll be gone.
Heart transplantation from here to there. Okay, so we'll meet
Hare Krishna.
Tuesday. Try to complete this portion. Then I'll take a long break so that you can study nicely. It will not be deviated. How many chapters are there more?
Mataji, only 5 to 6. 46 है last में.
Yes.
Only 6 verses, Mataji.
Nine chapters. How many are left? 7, 8, 9. Plus
10.
10.
Only 10
Till
chapters.
March we can complete. So I'm going to take a long leave till 11th, 12th. By the time your exams will be over. Going to Vrindavan. From Vrindavan to Nagpur, Mahakaleshwar, Omkareshwar, Srinathji, some spiritual. I should also have some piety, na?
Mataji, वृंदावन कब जा रहे हो?
28th.
29th.
28th.
28th.
Some spiritual strength also I should have, na?
Mataji.
Vaishnavi Namaha. Prabhupada ki jai.
प्रभुपाद की जय हो माताजी. हरे कृष्ण.